Aspen Whoopi here, and my cat. Yay! Where are you? I can't see you. Yeah, he hates me. But this is just a rant video because, yes, my sister hasn't been the nicest to my fursuit, and on my vacation, something that made me really angry, so I just wanted to kind of rant about those. So first I'll start with my sister. So of course I got my fursuit, and in the unboxing video she was like trying to be mean about it. I told you that in the like addressing my unboxing video, and so if you watch that, you should know about the feet. And then she started just like criticizing, not criticizing, but messing with my tail. And my tail isn't in my fursuit very well, so when I wear it, I literally tightened it like as tight as it would go, and it would like the belt, it's like a little strap, was kind of hanging out of my suit a little bit. So I was already trying not to like mess up my tail because it was already hanging out, and I didn't want to like do anything else to it. But like my sister started like grabbing my tail and like yanking on it, and of course, hi. And of course, you need something. Okay. And so of course my sister has this thing where if the slightest little thing that makes you angry, she starts just doing it more and more and worse and worse. So of course I tell her like, will you stop this? Like, will you stop that? It's not very nice, you know, you're, for one, like when you pull on it, you're actually like stabbing the strap like into my stomach. And also it just doesn't feel the greatest, and literally it hadn't even been like 10 minutes since I opened my fursuit, and that's including the unboxing and putting it on, so it hadn't even been like 10-15 minutes. So I really didn't want it getting ruined like right then. So she starts then like pulling my tail as hard as she can and like flipping it upwards and like hitting the back of my head with it. And of course, like, I'm getting continuously agitated, but I don't want to make it any worse, so I didn't do anything about it. I just kind of like pulled my tail away from her and like walked away. So I don't know if that was the right thing to do or not, but that's what I did. And then of course, I've talked about her scritching, and if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much where you get like either your fingernails or like the tips of your fingers and go like this to their muzzle or something. And that is like a #1 pet peeve for literally like almost all furries. And I would tell her like, please stop that, like I don't like that, and that will destroy the fur, because it will destroy your fur. And if you have like a painted suit, because like a realistic suit, most of the time they're airbrushed, it will like destroy the paint. So I was telling her like, please stop that, I don't like that. But she just started like doing it worse. So of course, and I told my mom about all the stuff she's doing, and my mom has talked to her about it, so that is good because she has stopped now. And I have stopped wearing my suit around her, so that's probably a better thing. And she would keep scritching, and then of course, like I said, my suit sits literally on the bridge of my nose. So like if you put like a lot of pressure on it, I literally can't breathe out of my nose because it crushes my nose. I actually have a bruise across my nose from just this thing like sitting on it and my sister like hitting it. And so of course she'll like come up to me and like start hitting me. Like bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, will you please stop that? It is actually hitting my face and it does not feel the nicest. And so she'll just start hitting me harder and is like, you can't feel that. And I'm like, you're not in the suit, head. You don't know what I can't feel. So yeah, now I have like a bruise on my nose and it looked like I got freaking like socked in the nose because of her like hitting my suit and my suit just plain out sitting on my nose. But it has started to go away since I've been getting hit in the face a lot less. So that's wonderful. Okay, I just wanted to check if he was still there. And then, like, the eyes. They're, like, a super sensitive part. They're, like, probably the most sensitive part of a fursuit head. And so, of course, she, like, starts poking them. Like, poking the eyes. And I'm like, will you please stop that? And she's like, why? 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 And I'm like, for one, you can break the mesh it's made out of, and it costs, I don't know how much, but I'm sure it costs at least like maybe $50 to fix, because for one, you have to pay the shipping, and then you have to pay for it to get fixed. So, you know, it probably costs like around $50, if not more, to fix a fursuit eye. And, you know, so I was like, don't do that. And plus, like, if her hands were wet at all, she was now getting the paint wet. And of course, like I said before, the paint will start to run and it'll literally look like your eyes are freaking crying. So I was just like, please stop that. And of course, then I was just kind of walking around in the middle of the night in my fursuit because I was like, why not? Not the full body thing, just this. Because I was like, why not? I went outside a little bit. I walked around. And of course, my sister would have pretty funny reactions when she would see me. She'd be like, what is, ugh. So of course, to me, that's very funny. So I would like walk past her just to get her reaction. Of course, I wouldn't interact with her really. I would just kind of walk past her. And then, of course, she was sleeping in my mom's room because my mom works night shifts. And, so I went into my mom's room and just kind of, like, leaned over her to see what she was watching, for one. I didn't really care if she saw me in suit or not. I just wanted to see what she was watching because it sounded really interesting. And so I did that, and, of course, she, like, looks at me and, like, hits me like in the nose, like twists my head sideways. She hits me in the nose so hard. What? I meow at my cat. Okay. That needs to be a gift, just like me petting my cat. Like, if anybody will do that for me, I will give you, like, the world's biggest shout out. Like, that would be freaking awesome. Like, a gift that, like, is like meow. Meow. Like, yeah, that would be hilarious. Okay, back to the rant. So, of course, she then goes to my grandmother because we actually live in my grandmother's house. And so she goes to my grandmother's room and is like talking about me and everything. And of course I go down there, you know, like, hey Grammy, like, right? And Aspen actually has a removable tongue. So Alyssa, for one, is like battering around my head and is scritching, and I'm like, stop it, stop it, stop it. And then she like yanks his tongue out, and of course it is just velcroed in, and it is very strong Velcro. It's like, you know what, I don't know if it's a thing, but like industrial Velcro, I think that's a thing. But it's like really strong industrial Velcro, and So when you yank it, like, it's really loose now because it's been yanked out so many times, because, like, she's done it so many times. But it, like, then it was, like, really stuck, like, in the head. So she actually, like, yanked my head with it. Plus, I was letting my head go with it, because I was like, you don't need to yank my tongue out. Like, just say, hey, show her you have a removable tongue, and I'll be like, okay, like, right? You didn't need to, like, yank it out. And so, then she does that, and I actually, if you watch my unboxing video, you know I have a fan that goes in the back of my mouth down here. And, of course, I have that out right now because, for one, I'm not going to be in suit for very long, and I'm not very hot. And, it also takes a battery pack to, like, run the fan. And my little portable charger was not working. It is broken, so I couldn't use that, and it's like a very small one. So I have to use like my mom's like giant like solar panel one. You've probably seen it for like iPhones and stuff. So I have to like wear it like in this little pouch necklace. So of course like the like 20 minutes I'm doing a video, I don't really like need to use that. So yeah. And then of course she keeps like hitting my face and everything, and I get a little agitated like anybody would. So of course, you know, my paws are very soft, like they're literally inch thick pillows on my hands. And so, of course, I just go like that to her head. And it's, like, not hard. I didn't do it, like, wham. I just kind of, like poof. And, of course, she, like, starts screaming at me. And is like, you don't do that to someone with a migraine. And I'm like, I have a migraine, too. And you're literally sitting here hitting me in the head, like, over and over and pulling my head. So, yeah. But the thing about the fan, I forgot to explain that. So she like ripped open my mouth, like as wide as it could go. So my mouth can only go like this wide, with like out like breaking my bottom jaw, and she's just like, like as wide as it'll go and then some. And I'm like, you're gonna break my suit. And so yeah, that was like really annoying. And of course, so this part is going to be a little inappropriate, so skip ahead like 30 seconds if you don't want to hear it. Just giving you a warning, so don't comment on this part and be like, that's fucking disgusting. Sorry about cursing, but yeah. So skip ahead like 30 seconds. Okay, so of course once I did that, she ripped my tongue out again as hard as she could and then ran off with it. And of course I went after her. I'm like, that is like part of my fursuit. I need to get that back. I don't want her ruining it. And so on my way chasing her, she shoves it into her underwear. And that is just disgusting. And then she takes it out and throws it on the table, and the table is like wet. I think there was like coffee or something on it, because once I like picked my tongue up, it had like brown little like kind of, not like, you know, number 2, but like coffee stains. And so I'm like, you just ruined my brand new freaking like fursuit tongue. What the heck is wrong with you? And so, of course, I take it, and I storm upstairs, and, I actually forgot about my disinfectant, so I just kind of left my tongue sitting out, because I was like, I'm not, like, putting that back in my mouth. That is disgusting, and I don't want to be breathing that in. So I actually just leave my tongue laying out, because I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. Because how I have my fursuit spray is, it is in like a little pencil box along with my brush on a shelf. So I just didn't really see it, and I kind of forgot about it. But luckily I was outside, and then I was like, wait, I have disinfectant, because like I didn't know if I could wash the tongue because of course the Velcro on it. So I don't know what happens if you wash Velcro. And also like I said, it was the middle of the night, it was like 2 in the morning. So I was like, I can't like just wash my tongue. So I used like a lot of freaking disinfectant on it, and then like let it sit there. So it should be clean now, and I can like still smell the disinfectant. And this happened like 2 days ago. Ugh, there's like sweat running down my face like right here. And I'm just like, I want to wipe it off. Because it is just like, okay. So, yeah. And I told my mom about that, and she was just like, stop wearing your suit around your sister. And so I haven't, and of course, the abuse, as I call it, because that's pretty much what it is. Like, if you did that to, well, I am an actual person, or if you did that to an animal, you know, that would be considered abuse or bullying. So, yeah. And, the thing in Colorado that made me mad was, so I was visiting my dad, and of course my sister was going on pretty much a spending binge. Like, I think in the 3 weeks we were there, she spent almost $600, and I didn't even spend like 20. So, and the $40 my mom gave me and was like, here you go, here's for the trip, I didn't even spend a penny of it. So, yeah, and I'm saying I spent $20 because like some of the stuff my sister bought I did ask for. So, yeah. And of course my sister was, talking about moving there. And of course my dad told her, like, if you move here, you can't spend a whole bunch of money because the money my sister was spending was my mom's. And of course, he then like said they don't have a lot of money. And this just kind of made me mad because if you go into his house, literally it is just screaming, we have money. Because there are 3 people who live in his house, and all of them have brand new MSI gaming computers, and I think those are like $2,000 and up. So if you have 3 of those, there's $6,000 already. And then F drives, I think they also had extra hard drives too. So those are like $100 plus each. And so they had 3 of each of them. So yeah, and then he had a smart TV, and every single night they would go out and buy brand new things for groceries. And so that would be about like $30+ a night. And then like, they had brand new cars. All of them had brand new cars. And just flat out, they had a lot of stuff that like, most people really don't. They had actually 2 smart TVs, because I forgot they had one downstairs too. And they had a brand new PS4, and they had a lot of games. And so I was like, you are like not struggling financially. If you were, you wouldn't have brand new ones of these. Maybe sure, in the past you were able to buy them, but now you couldn't. But no, they were like brand new. Like, they didn't even have one little like scuff mark on them. So yeah, and then the smart TVs, maybe those were like a year old, but they were pretty new. So, and then of course they had like a giant Sony like speaker. And those things are not cheap. My Sony headphones were like $50. I can't imagine like a giant speaker like what they had. And then my dad had this portable speaker that was still pretty big. And I think my cat is stuck again, so he can deal with it. So yeah, I was like, this is like not financially struggling, or just like having a little, like, small amounts of money. You know, like, I'm not saying I'm poor by any means, no, but I don't have a lot of good stuff. Like, I have an Xbox 360 that, seriously, if you looked at it, you would be like, how is that thing still running? So, yeah. And I have 2 of the games that are completely broken. Actually, like 4 games that are completely broken. And, a really old PS3. The TV that's over here is seriously, like, I think older than me. So, it is a pretty old TV. And the TV that's in my room that I had to, like, buy was really cheap. So, I don't know if it was actually that cheap. It was like $200 and it's not very big either. But I just needed a gaming TV. And of course, my computer is a few years old. My dad actually bought me the computer, so... And then of course, like, we don't have the nicest house. And saying that I'm literally living in an attic. Yeah. So, I'm not saying I'm poor by any means. I'm just saying that, like, we are a little bit worse financially than he is. But I have lots of friends, and I live in a very small community, and all of them are a lot poorer than me, and I can see how bad it can get. So I don't say at all that I'm poor or that I'm financially struggling. Not at all. I see how bad it can get. I've seen it firsthand when I go over to my friends' houses. So, yeah. So it just made me a little angry when he was like, oh yeah, you can't be spending a lot of money, you know, we're not very financially stable right now. And I was like, your house. Literally their house is like, if you take away my attic, then their house is bigger than my house. Because they have a lot more bedrooms. Actually, they have about the same amount of bedrooms. But, like, I just have a country house. So that's why it looks so big, but actually the interior, if you take away the attic, it's actually pretty small. And of course, a few years ago, my house flooded because some of our water pipes busted, and literally we could not pay for our house to be fixed. So we had to go across the street to our neighbors because we're really close friends with them, and they actually work on construction, and we had to go to them and be like, hey, we literally can, like, not pay to get our house fixed. Will you please help us fix our house? And they were like, sure. And then, of course, we had to redo our entire kitchen, like, all the cabinets and everything got destroyed. So we manually, like, tore out everything. We didn't hire anybody. We had to tear everything out. We even tore a wall out downstairs. And of course, then we had to buy all new cabinets and a dishwasher, and we were just, like, poor after that because it cost so much. So, yeah, I was, and, like, Dad, the littlest thing happens in his house, and he is actually handyman, so he can fix it. But, like, if it was a bigger job that like, our kitchen flooding, if his kitchen flooded, he would probably hire some people. And it's like, we literally could not hire anyone. So, yeah, I'm just saying, he isn't very financially struggling. Maybe at this time and place, yes, but, like, by the time he gets his paycheck, because they're, my dad and my stepmom are both, I can't remember if my stepmom is a veteran or not, but I know my dad is, and they still work on the army base, so they get a lot of money. So, yeah. It just made me a little angry when he was like, oh yeah, we're like financially like struggling. And I just immediately thought of back home. And I was like, you are not financially struggling. So I guess that's all I had to rant about. So this is probably actually going to be a really long video. So yeah. Well, I guess see y'all later.